Hello friendos and bendos, it's me Z, and my video on Featherweight got me thinking a lot about how trans characters, especially trans women, are handled in Big 2 comic books. And that train of thought led me to reading this comic, Andrew Baker's second run on Captain America, because it featured a trans woman who I was aware of but rarely ever heard anyone talk about despite how incredibly weird of a concept the character is. And after reading this book, let me tell you, things get weirder. Let's talk about Grace, the Hydra Queen. Okay, before we get talking about the Hydra Queen, we actually need to talk about this kid, Jimmy Jupiter. If you don't know, and honestly I'd be a little surprised if you did, Jimmy Jupiter is an old and obscure character from Marvel's Golden Age, back when the company was still called Timely Comics. He was introduced in 1941 in Marvel Mystery Comics number 28, created by writer and artist Eddie Robbins. Jimmy is a little boy with the ability to travel to the magical dream world of Nowhere. That's Nowhere with an N, not to be confused with the giant celestial head, which is Nowhere with a K. And if you're wondering why you've never heard of him, it's because he lasted just 2 years before being canned, not appearing for 68 years until Ed Brubaker brought him back for his Captain America run. And we actually get an in-universe explanation for his lack of appearances, which is that he got put into a coma. How? Well, in World War II, Nick Fury set up a plan with Captain America to infiltrate a Hydra base. The problem? They didn't know where the base was, and that's when Nick Fury contacted Jimmy Jupiter, who could use the dreams of Hydra agents within the base to create a path through Nowhere to their location. Fury hired a strike team to go through Nowhere, with the leader being codenamed Bravo. And yes, you heard that right, his codename isn't Bravo, his codename is Codename Bravo. The word codename is part of the codename. Anyway, as things often do, shit went sideways. As the strike team was traveling through Nowhere, Jimmy got his head caved in with a typewriter, closing the gateway to Nowhere, trapping both the strike team and the Hydra agents that were being used to guide the portal. Jimmy is put into a coma and doesn't wake up until present day, and him waking up causes the portal to Nowhere to open back up, allowing Codename Bravo, his strike team, and the Hydra agents to come back to Earth. And that's when shit gets crazier. It's revealed that in the dream world, to survive, all the humans, both Bravo's team and the Hydra agents, had to team up, and the Hydra agents managed to be converted to the side of good. And eventually, they all learned that they could manipulate the dream world, and after realizing that they could do that, they created their own utopian society. And one Hydra agent realized that they had gender dysphoria, and used her new reality manipulation powers to give herself a woman's body. And then she and Bravo got married. Upon being transported back to the real world, having not biologically aged a day as time moves differently in Nowhere, they all come to find out that the modern day world sucks, and all decide that their goal will be to send everyone on Earth to Nowhere. How do they go about this? Well, they become a new sect of Hydra with Grace as their Hydra Queen, they absorb another sect of Hydra, kidnap Jimmy Jupiter, use their Hydra technology to make a Jimmy brain portal to Nowhere, and once they're stopped by Captain America, they team up with Baron Zemo and try to overthrow the world's governments by igniting riots all over the planet using mind control, until Captain America stops them again, and also Hydra Queen accidentally shoots and kills her husband. Obviously.
He could only have gotten that idea from Benjamin Netanyahu.
Yeah, this run is strange. It's not bad, but it's not good. It's just strange. And what makes it strange is that it's clearly trying to say something, but it does it so incredibly poorly. The idea of these people who, like Cap, are World War II relics in the modern day, but who, in that time, between then and now, lived in a utopia and are now horrified to see how much humanity has failed to achieve compared to what they did, is interesting. And then wanting to bring everyone to their world of Nowhere is also an interesting goal. There's an argument to be had on who is in the wrong, and what is fair critique, and how to go about change, but the series doesn't really do that aside from issues 4 and 5, which are actually pretty good, but then the series goes, ironically, nowhere with the commentary they set up. And a lot of it ends up feeling like that one meme where the MCU villain has a compelling argument, but then they also blow up a school bus for the Vine, and nowhere is this more apparent than with Hydra Queen. She's explicitly trans, but there's no commentary on how she views modern-day queer issues, or how she looks back on the queer issues of her time. She's Hydra, but she's very specifically anti-Nazi, and doesn't actually believe in Hydra's values, and is instead just using them because they're an easy-to-control, large disposable force. That's neat and all, but we don't really delve into how that affects her. We don't know why she decided this was the best course of action, we don't know what kind of change she's trying to enact, it's extremely vague. We don't know what her utopian world was like beyond flying cars. The idea of a trans supervillain whose transness affects their worldview is something that could be super cool to explore if handled correctly, but this is just such a nothing burger. It feels like she was made trans just because, and she was made Hydra just because, and now the character is in a permanent limbo, having not appeared since this run, and we'll probably never learn about how something like her accidentally killing her husband will affect her. And I really don't know how to feel. Was this character just bad in concept or horribly mismanaged? Should she return or be forgotten? What do you think? For now, this has been me, Z, and I'll see you in nowhere. Bye.